go ahead and start recording. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for this provider training. I'm Sarah Rittner, the Research Manager at Alliance of Chicago Community Health Services. I'm joined by our presenters, Mike Wolf of Northwestern University and Mary Kay Herman at the Alliance. This is a project that we've been working on with Northwestern, and I look forward to going ahead and turning this over to Dr. Wolf to discuss a little bit of the project.
Great, thanks, Sarah. So just want to be quick and be very mindful of your time, and so thank everybody for being on the call. This is a project that, again, involves two of the Alliance-affiliated health centers, and we also include Northwestern and Walgreens as partners. So I don't know, Mary Kay, if you can advance the next slide to project aims. The goal really is to address the issue of helping patients safely use and adhere to multi-drug regimen instructions. And in particular, we're working with people with diabetes and hypertension and similar issues, really try to help them, one, better understand their medications, consolidate multi-drug regimens to the most efficient times per day, and then safely adhere to those medication regimens accordingly for optimal treatment benefit. So we're going to compare something I'm going to be talking about is the universal medication schedule, and compare how this very simple low health literacy strategy can help patients really kind of properly dose out and space medications in the most effective manner. We're also going to look at some other technologies. So there's going to be some new tools that are going to be made available on the electronic health record that Mary Kay will talk more about. So here are the project aims. So next slide. And really what's going to happen is we're going to be working with many of your patients, in which what we're trying to do is look compared to the current usual care and how patients get medications prescribed to them, how they go home and try to dose out those medications, based on instructions that say twice daily, 3 times daily, every 8 hours, or what have you, and provide the information maybe with a little bit more clarity. And we're going to provide a few different tools to those in what we call the UMS arm. So beyond usual care, some patients will get prescriptions with more explicit instructions. Some patients will get also additional information sheets that are kind of plain language, one-page sheets, much like you would get at the pharmacy, but maybe a little bit more easy to understand and more actionable at the point of discharge with their after-visit summary, as well as a medication list that's going to help them maybe kind of think about how they can organize all of their medicines to the most efficient daily schedule. And then the third arm is basically getting that with an addition of providing some text reminder support to help them remember when to take their medicines. Again, the anticipatory start date is December 2014. Next slide. Again, what I mentioned with this UMS, or Universal Medication Schedule, and you can really, I'm just going to let you focus on the image on the corner. It's a really simple idea of imparting a pill box schema onto medication instructions. So instead of saying twice daily or every 8 hours, things that are vague terms, and also done inconsistently from one drug to the next, we're going to try to standardize their prescribing to 1 pill in the morning, noon, evening, and bedtime. And this is an evidence-based practice that we've shown patients can understand much more clearly and actually safely use their medicine better as well. Next slide. So here's an example of, in addition to having a custom list that Mary Kay will be able to show you where you can prescribe medicines using morning, evening, and bedtime terms, you'll also get information that just gives you some helpful background info on the drug, its warnings, information about use, and how to contact if they need any more information. This is a one-page sheet that, again, with a button will be able to be generated with their after-visit summary, so they get actionable, plain language information about about a prescribed medication. Next slide. And yet another tool as part of this UMS intervention is that we're going to try to help them look at the entire regimen. So kind of taking a 30,000-foot view on all the drugs they may be taking that are related to this project, mostly their diabetes-related medicines. We're going to give some basic instructions with their after-visit summary where they can fill out this medication record, so we can really help them think about when do you take your morning, noon, evening, and bedtime medicines, so they can, again, start to consolidate safely their medications for optimal use and to support adherence over time. Next slide. And then finally, the other piece that we're going to be offering to patients at your sites is the possibility that they may be able to get a text message alert also that centers around this UMS idea of, again, when to take your medicines morning, noon, evening, and bedtime. And, we'll provide this service to them after a new prescription or a medication change, that they can look at they can get that service for 7 days, or they can even extend it if they like it beyond those 7 days post a new prescription or a change. So those are the main components, and I think this is where it's going to shift over for Mary Kay to give a look at how this plays out for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I also wanted to just let people know that if you have any questions as we go along, feel free to type it into the chat, and I will either try to answer as I go, or we will have a Q&A at the end of the call. So just wanted to make sure that was there. So real quick, I just have a single slide to review the EHR changes, and then I'm going to actually jump into Centricity and show them to you so you can see what's coming once we kick this off. So there's going to be a new form that's the medication handouts that will display a list of the medications that are part of this study that will print out a medication handout. Like the screenshot showed you, those one-page, 1 or 2-page, easy-to-read medication handouts for the patients. And then we also have developed a new Alliance Merck medication custom list. This is actually a combination of 2 lists. So one is the Alliance Internal Medicine custom list that already exists, and the other one is a new list that we built for this project that has those UMS schedule instructions, so the very patient-friendly, take once in the morning, once at bedtime. And then a couple of medication record handouts, again, like the screenshot we showed. I'll actually show you an example, that come in both English and Spanish that will list out the patient's medications and allow the patient, with the help possibly of a care coordinator or somebody else, to actually fill it in of when they're supposed to take things. And then those approximately 160 medication handouts. So that's those handouts we were looking at, those one-pagers that are going to be accessed from that medication handout form, and they're available in both English and Spanish. And just a small change in the assessment and plan form to get you to this new form. So with that, I am going to try and jump into Centricity without making people too dizzy. Uh-oh, I got logged out. And I am not in a live database. I'm actually in one of our demo databases using a text patient, just to clarify. So just a quick show, the new assessment and plan form will just have, if you're part of the study, you will have this button made available on the assessment and plan form that will just jump you to this new encounter form. I'm actually going to kind of resize the screen here for just a second. This is a very simple form. What happens is it lists the medications that will have a handout printed if you decide to print those handouts. The handouts, the first time through for a patient, will list all the handouts that are available with those one-pagers. On subsequent visits, it will only print the handouts if you've prescribed the medication new or refilled that medication. So the patient will get the same handouts over and over and over again if you're not taking any action with them. You can also click the Update Meds button, and this is actually going to jump you to that Alliance Merck custom list, and you can see some examples of that instructions, the universal medication schedule instructions that we were referring to earlier. So I'm just going to say OK and just add it. I also then have the ability to print the available medication handouts. And this is just going to go ahead and run and print these 3 handouts. I am actually going to go ahead and click this button, so give me just a second because I think it's going to print a couple of handouts and go to a PDF. The other option, while we wait for these to go to a PDF, will print my medication record, and that's the overall medication, the list of all the medications the patient is on, regardless of whether they're included in the study or not. It doesn't look like it's printing to a PDF, printing to a printer, so I'm going to do a quick jump and just show you what it looks like. And then the print my medication record is going to print that summary page. And all of these, as I said, are available in Spanish. If you want to print it in Spanish, check the checkbox first and then hit the button. So I'm just going to jump real quick to the My Medication record. So this is the overall view. You can see there's some instructions for the patient. And then here's the key piece of information, and it gives them their medication with the strength. their instructions, when do I take it, and any comments. And if a diagnosis has been associated with that medication within Centricity, by linking it, it will show up automatically in the comments. You'll notice the when do I take does not automatically fill out. So that's something that the patient can fill out, and depending on your clinic's workflow or how you decide to do it, if somebody else wants to sit down and help them fill it out or not. And this is also available in Spanish. And then I'm just going to give you a quick example of one of the 1 or 2 page document handouts. So this is what we'll print. Very much like the screenshot, as we said, really tried to keep it to a page. Sometimes they might go just over, but they're short and sweet for the patient. And that's the changes within the EHR. So I'm going to quickly jump back to our PowerPoint slide and just see, anybody have any thoughts, questions, comments?
Any questions? Oh yeah, any questions about the project overall that we might be able to answer?
I mean, I think the goal just is really, that these might be some very helpful and just simple information sheets and tools to kind of really help patients just maybe better clarify how they take their medicine. So, and I think through this process, we would love any feedback as these become available on how you use them, if you get any feedback from patients. But I don't know if any of this seems at all clunky or if it seems okay. I mean, I think the goal here is that this is meant to be really kind of a seamless option for you to provide if you would like to offer it to your patients, especially those that you think might benefit from some additional clarity on how to take their medicines.
And this is Mary Kay. Just an additional comment about Centricity. The other thing we're looking for people to do, and they will hopefully do, is update their preferences for what custom list, medication custom list they see anytime they go to add a new medication to this new custom list. So it's something, if you're part of the project, that it just defaults for you. So it becomes much easier for you to find the instructions that we're looking for you to use.
Thanks, Mary Kay and Mike.
I definitely appreciate everybody being on the call.
We'll definitely be sending out this a link to the recording of this training to all providers participating in the project. So please keep an eye out in your email for a link to this training. And thank you all, and have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone.